In the same way too, I think creating social media like YouTube and things like that. So if I create a blog and say, what's the difference between this type of leaf guard and this type of leaf guard, and which one should you choose for your home? If I follow that up with a YouTube video, I then put my blog article inside of the description of the YouTube video, and then I followed up with a GBP offer, 10% off leaf guards for the entire summer from June to August. I can create an offer on my GBP that will stay active for 3 months, and it will also pop up and say, hey, this is really relevant because this guy got an offer for leaf guards and this person is searching for leaf guards. So then that will help my map listing show up because it's more relevant, right? And then all of a sudden the leads pop. Just doing those little bitty things, it doesn't need to be hours and days of work. It's honestly just slowly feeding the beast. Again, this lead gen wasn't touched forever. Lead volume slowed down. I jumped in and started fooling with it. I have some lead gens I still aren't touching. But know that anything that you do is not going to really hurt your site. It's going to help your site, especially if you do it naturally.
I think one thing to also keep in mind is at the end of the day, Google is a algorithm that is designed to take your search query and then match it to its content library, the content that is scraped on the internet in terms of GBPs, websites. We can use that to our advantage, meaning being more strategic about what kind of words, what kind of posts that we use on our GBP, what kind of articles we create on our websites. Instead of on your GBP constantly using the same keywords, we provide gutter replacement, 10% discount this month. And then the next month you do the same keywords over and over again. Instead of doing that, maybe mixing up the keywords, right? The GBP post. One week it might be gutter replacement. The other week it might be leaf guards. The other week it might be another keyword. And you take that same philosophy and apply it across social media posts. People ask questions on your website as articles or as posts inside GBP accounts. We've tried to hack the system years ago before GBP posts where we write reviews with various other keywords interlaced in the review. If we were writing a little bit of reviews for ourselves, I think that's where I see a lot of people falling short. Even designing their home page of their lead gen site is that you got the H1, H2 on that home page and people are using the same keyword. It's fine to use the main keyword on the title of the page and the brand name in H1, but they're using the same keyword again in H2. You're wasting valuable spots where your homepage can actually rank for a lot more keywords. And the reason why it's important for your digital assets to rank for more keywords is that, in my opinion, if your brand begins showing up for more and more different types of search queries, like how much are leaf guards and how effective are leaf guards, like all these different queries, if your brand keeps showing up for all these different things about leaf guards, Google has no choice but to look at you as the go-to expert company for leaf guards, for example, in XY.
Not only that, but you hear people say SEO is dead. It's just changing, right? And so even with AI pulls all their information. Where does AI get the information from? It gets it from websites. It gets it from authoritative content that has a lot of relevancy and trust. And so when you have a trusted brand and you have a Facebook page and all of it's tied together and you lace all those interlinking things together, then guess what? Then you're going to show up on AI. If you ask AI, hey, I'm looking for a gutter company in Slidell, Louisiana, or I'm looking for leaf guards, it's going to pop those things up. And so even that is going to continue to evolve. And so I think branding is very important. And so going through not just necessarily creating that website and creating this, but just creating helpful content, because that's really what Google wants, is helpful content. Like, how can we answer the question? Because that's what I tell most people. We play chess against Google, but really if we just give Google what it wants, right? Google's is search engine in the world, but that's because it's good at what it does. If it becomes not good at what it does, then they're going to get overtaken, right? No matter how many LSA ads or how many people are running Google ads, if you answer the questions that people are looking for and need the questions answered, Google has no choice to get you to the top, because people are looking for local businesses and people will skip things. And as soon as Google's, hey, everything's paid, they're just going to lose a ton of business and somebody else will jump and come along. I just think it's about keeping it really relevant and keeping it really focused. And every single time I do that, and I just put a little fuel on the fire on a website, everything goes up, right? The stuff that I know now versus the stuff I knew 5 years ago, it's a big difference, right? We're talking about a site. I'm not saying that I redesign the entirety of the site. I don't, but I just go in there and create those different tags. I'll throw in what we call power words. I've even started throwing in sometimes emojis or emoticons on my headers, just split testing stuff. Voted number one, Angie's List 2025, even though I'm not voted number one, because I'll throw in Angie's List, and that's a strong keyword. keyword, I'll even try things like that and throw those things, long tail keywords, where people can see that and it's relevant. Google's not going to go in there and be like, oh, let me make sure this guy really was Angie's #1 gutter installer. They're not going to do any of that. I'll just do those kind of things and generate more leads.
Just keep in mind too, most of your competitors are not doing this. Most of your competitors are just writing very generic service-based pages. But Google's algorithm, whether it's local or blogs or whatnot, Google's algorithm is like a big giant whale, like an elephant. They can't just make tiny tweaks and changes. So it's like how the core algorithm has always been built is to reward unique content on websites.